Welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian and I'm streaming to you live from Central Europe. I hope everybody has had a fantastic week and looking forward to a great weekend. Hi Pachu, hi Chabi, hi Akash, hi Chondo. Good to see many students in the class already. In this class, we will focus on some speaking practice and strategies, especially for part 1 of the speaking section. This lesson, as usual, is brought to you by our world-class IELTS web portals. For academic version of the test, check us out at aehelp.com. And for the general version of the exam, check us out at gieltshelp.com. That's generalieltshelp.com. And of course, this is a speaking class, so speak and repeat what you hear. I will correct your responses in real time. Make sure to log the time if it's your response. And if it's not your response, when I correct it, definitely repeat. Repeat, repeat. All right, while we wait for a few more students to join in, our websites look like this. This is the academic one here with the blue background at aehelp.com. You can click that big red button to join our premium package, get over 100 hours of HD video lessons, fully interactive course and practice exams. For the general version, it's a similar layout with a green background. Click that big red button to join, and you get a My Student account with lots of goodies that you can use on your phone, tablet, PC. In fact, you can even download our apps from your app stores, Academic IELTS Help or General IELTS Help, and link your app to your web account for some awesome learning. Hi Rahul Preet, hi Roshni, good to see more of our members in the class. Welcome everybody else. It looks like we're getting some good numbers for today's lesson. If anybody has questions for me about our courses, our materials, about the IELTS exam, we are partners with British Council as a test center. We do have access to all kinds of great information to help you pass your test. You can send me an email, adrian@aehelp.com. You can also get our exam books from Amazon. Search for AE Helps Academic IELTS and GELPS General IELTS. You can get the paperback and the electronic version. All right, our class schedule is a little bit sparse during the holiday season. For those of you celebrating at this time, I hope you're having good holidays. So today we do speaking part 1. We will have class tomorrow. Task 1 writing for members at 13:30 Central European Time, followed by a class where everybody can join the chat. That will be a reading class at the same time as this class, 15 o'clock Central European Time. Then on 29th, we'll have a question and answer session for members to finish the year and a speaking part 3 for everyone. Then again, we take a short break from the 30th until January 2nd, and we continue January 3rd with our regular scheduled 4 classes, or 4 days per week, is 7 classes, I should say, okay? Roshni, sparse, not spares, sparse. Sparse means it's a few, not many, okay? All right, everyone, so let's get into our speaking. Again, remember, speak and repeat. The IELTS speaking exam is the same for academic, for general, for paper-based, or computer-based versions of the exam. So everybody who takes the IELTS exam, UK visa, whatever, it's always the same speaking exam, okay? It's a 12 to 15 minute interview, face-to-face, usually with a native English speaker who could be British, American, Canadian, like myself. So make sure to practice listening to different accents, okay? And in that 15 minutes, you will have 3 different kinds of speaking. Part 1 will be some questions on a general topic that is about you. Okay, keep that in mind. So you have to use the words I, me, my in speaking part 1. Hi, Eugen. Love the emojis. Hello, Panda Cat. Awesome. Okay, so again, part 1, notice your, you, you. It's all about you. Numero uno. Be confident, okay? Be brave. Believe in yourself. You're there. You paid good money. You're there to do a job. Examiner's there to do a job. Get it done, okay? Believe in yourself. Speak in full sentences. Use the question in your answers. Okay, we'll get into more strategy as we go along. Let's just warm up some of our speaking and learn some nice phrases to answer these icebreaker questions. The first few questions in the speaking interview will be some icebreakers to have you feel comfortable. Hi, Jitendra. Hi, Rahul. I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. All right, everyone. Here we go. So first 2 questions that you will be asked for sure are, what is your name and may I see your identification? This might be first or this might be first, but these are the first 2 questions. Let's start with this one. What is your full name? The examiner will ask you that for sure. So make sure to give a response, a clear response. Practice different ways to answer that question. Okay, so they'll say, what is your full name? Or please tell me your full name. Okay, so make sure you give them your full name as it appears on your identification. Rahul Preet says, my family name is Manga and my first name is Rahul Preet. Please call me Preet. Very clever, Rahul Preet, because that's always the follow-up question is, what should I call you? Murasa, you're very, very studious, and I'm very, very happy to see that, Murasa. Murasa says, my full name is Murasa Baraki. Please address me by my nickname, which is Honey. I think you're missing your family name there, Murasa. All right, Chabi says, my full name is Chabi Kali as it is written in my national ID, but please I prefer to be called Lilo. Okay, that's good. Chabi good, as it is written. There's an it is between the words as and written, Chabi. Okay, so one more time. My full name is Chabi Khalil as it is written in my national ID, but I prefer to be called Lilo. Please do the same. Okay, good. Roshni Kunte says, my given name is Roshni and last name is Kunte. Please call me by my first name, Roshni. All right. I would repeat that word, Roshni, so I would repeat your first name after in that situation. Asila Azizova says, my first name is Asila and my family name is Azizova. Please call me Asila. All right, students, keep in mind that there is a hidden question here. The examiner, if you don't tell them, they will ask you, and what should I call you? Okay, so that's always the follow-up question there. Make sure to include your answer for the full 2 questions, okay? So what is your full name? My surname is Anderson, and my given names are Juan Silva. Okay, please call me Juan. All right. So my surname is Anderson and my given names are Juan Silva. Please call me Juan. All right. So that would be a nice, clear answer. Again, practice different ways to do this so that you can be very, very fluent. Okay. And then the next question will be, may I see your identification, please? So give me a nice full sentence answer for this. May I see your identification, please? Okay. Bina Dahal, you're very welcome. Keep following, keep going forward. Rahul Preet says, yes, sure, here you go, have a look. Okay, that's very clear. Again, make sure to have fluency. Practice saying these nice and clear and fluent. So, yes, sure, here you go, have a look. Chandra Vamshi says, yes, you can, sir. Here it is. Please take a look. Okay. If a native speaker were to answer this question, they would likely say about 6 to 10 words. So, yes, of course, here it is. Or, yes, of course, here it is. Have a look. Okay. Or, certainly, here is my passport. Please take a look. So, you want to be expressive right away from the start. Okay. Siva Krishna says, yes, sure. Here is my passport. Please take a look. Pachu says, yes, of course. Here you are. Largiv says, yes, sure. Here you are. Those are good. Tamir Khan says, yes, you can. Here you go. Please take a look. Remember, students, we only finish a sentence with please if we're asking for something. When we're giving something, information or an object, we don't finish with please. We say, please take a look, or please take it, or please have a look. We don't finish the sentence with please. It's confusing for a native speaker because it sounds like a question, like this one, right? So, most certainly, here is my passport. Please have a look. All right. So, repeat after me. May I see your identification, please? Most certainly. Here's my passport. Please have a look. Okay. Then they'll ask you a couple more questions to make you feel comfortable. A very common question that's asked from candidates is, do you work or study? Okay, so give me a nice full sentence answer for this one. Do you work or study? Do you work or study? Karakoz Saparbe says, I study at school. I'm in grade 8 right now, and I'm learning all kinds of subjects. Okay, 6IX9NEYT says, I'm currently studying English literature. I'm in my first year of bachelor studies. Okay, be more expressive, students, so show your fluency right away. All right. Nadia Khalil says, I work as a visiting lecturer in AIU campuses like Barak and IMIT, which are situated in Rawalpindi. Along with this, I work as a trainer of business. Careful with using acronyms, students, like AIOU campuses. Your examiner won't know what that means, okay? And the other important tip there, Nadia, is don't use past tense. So not I worked as a trainer, but I work as a trainer. This is present tense. It's not asking what was your job or what did you study. It's asking, do you work or study currently? So it's general, it's now, okay? Make sure that you have very clear tense. Tense confusion costs band scores and marks in the exam, okay? Remember your correlative conjunctions. So not only do I work as an English instructor at ACE Academy, but I also study aviation as I plan to be a pilot in the future. Okay, so here is your high band response, students. So not only is leading with what's called a correlative conjunction. Correlative conjunctions are those paired conjunctions like both and, whether or, neither nor, either or. Using these helps to emphasize language and helps to build fluency. So there's my tip one for you today. Use correlative conjunctions. You've heard me say this often if you're a regular student, but notice how in the chat they're still quite absent. So international students seem to avoid using these conjunctions, which is not good. Okay, you want to use these. So not only do I work as an English instructor at ACE Academy, but I also study aviation as I plan to be a pilot in the future. So here's the not only, but also combination. I'm working as an English instructor and I'm studying to be a pilot, which is not true. I'm just making that up. It sounds good. Nobody cares about the truth on the IELTS exam. They just care about listening to good communication and good English. Okay? Both are important for those band 7, band 8, band 9 marks. You need good English and good communication. Good English without good communication will only get you to a band 6, maybe a 6.5, especially on the academic IELTS. Notice also how I give a reason for my answer. So I'm also studying aviation. Why? Well, maybe I like airplanes. Maybe I plan to work at the airport. I plan to build airplanes. Who knows? So I have to give reason. Don't assume that, oh, you're studying aviation, it must mean that you want to become a pilot. Your examiner doesn't know that. So be very clear always with your answers. So I plan to be a pilot in the future. I'm using correlative conjunctions to join ideas, and I'm using a coordinating conjunction as shows reason. Okay, cause and effect. Okay, then the next question here. What do you do at weekends? So again, a very common question or questions on the speaking part of the test. What do you do in your free time? What do you do on the weekends? Make sure you're ready to answer that question clearly without mistakes. Okay. All right. Vibhu, the answer to your question, what I'm telling you right now and in the rest of this class. Vibhu is asking, what should I do to get some really good marks? Okay, Murasa says, not only do I help my mom in household chores on the weekend, but I also go shopping. Like last Saturday, I went to City Mall and did some window shopping with my friend Sarah. Okay, Murasa, that's a really nice answer. So as long as you say that clearly, fluently, you're on to a band 9. Why? Because you're using complex language, you're giving a clear answer, you're giving an explanation, you're also including an example. Very good, Marasa. So Marasa's example is like last Saturday. I went to City Mall and did some window shopping with my friend Sarah. Marasa, you're also including some idiomatic language. That's great. Okay, window shopping. All right, Suresh says, mostly I am fond of visiting different places in my country during the weekends. Not only this, but I love to go hiking when I have holidays. Suresh, careful. This is Suresh Majhi. Suresh, this question is not asking you about holidays. It's asking you about weekends. Weekends means Saturdays and Sundays for most people, okay? So don't talk about a different idea like holidays because you will lose marks for being off topic and being incoherent, all right? Secondly, don't say in my country. Say what your country is. If it's India, then say India. So say mostly I'm fond of visiting different places in India on Saturdays and Sundays, okay? I like to go especially to nature and go on hikes. Just recently, I visited the Himalayas and did some incredible hiking with my friends and family. That would be a much better band score, Suresh. Okay? So careful, students. You have to give accurate answers which target the question that you're being asked. Here's a big, big tip for today. Okay? So Keep this in mind every time you study for the speaking section. Okay, tip 1. It's actually my second one, but I'm going to make this my tip 1 because it's so important. The more accurately and specifically you answer questions, the better your band score. Okay? Do not go off topic. Target the topic, controlling idea, give an answer, explanation, put another way, it's a reason, and example. Those are your basic fundamental steps to getting those high band scores, okay? Those band 7, 8, 9s, okay? Diru's asking, how can I reduce pauses during speaking? One way to reduce pauses during speaking, Diru, is use your conjunctions. So those correlative conjunctions that I was speaking of earlier, the not only but also, both and, those help to reduce pauses, okay? Pauses are not bad, students. You don't lose marks for pauses unless the pauses are awkward or you're pausing because you're trying to think of vocabulary or grammar. Then you lose marks. But if you're pausing in your speech to think of ideas of what to say, that's absolutely okay. Okay, those do not cost marks. Okay, all right. So what do you do at weekends? You can keep these answers fairly simple. Again, practice different answers. You do not want to sound like you memorized your answers. That's not good. All right, you want to sound natural. Well, on Saturdays, I like to meet up with friends and go out for a chit chat or a hike, as I did just the other day. And on Sundays, I prefer to stay at home, cook, clean, and either watch a movie or curl up with a good book. All right? So that is, again, your really high band answer. All right? Why? Well, for reasons that I mentioned previously, and also because of the paraphrasing, specificity, okay? Being specific. Weekends are Saturdays, Sundays. For me, as many of you know, my weekends are kind of more Mondays and Tuesdays. That's when I don't host live classes. But for most people, it's Saturdays, Sundays. So here's a nice answer for you to think about as you develop your speaking. Repeat after me. What do you do at weekends? Well, on Saturdays, I like to meet up with friends and go out for a chit chat or a hike, as I just did the other day. And on Sundays, I prefer to stay at home, cook, clean, and either watch a movie or curl up with a good book. All right, that's your nice, fluent, high band answer. It's got some idiomatic language, like meet up with friends. That's a phrasal verb. It's considered idiomatic language. Chit chat is a bit of slang. Okay, so practice those. You do not need to use extremely complex idioms to get high band scores. You just need to use some idiomatic language. Okay. All right. Now, once the examiner has asked you a few of these warm-up icebreaker type questions, then they will get into a more specific topic, still part 1, and they will introduce it with saying, let's talk about. So in this case, let's say, let's talk about computers. Okay, let's talk about computers. How often do you use a computer? Give me a nice answer for this one. How often do you use a computer? All right. Asila Azizova says, well, I frequently use my computer because of my studies. It is essential, especially using the computer. I can be more effective to complete my essays and projects on time, and they are of high quality. Asila, careful, okay? So make sure you're speaking very, very clearly. Don't jump around with ideas. Instead, go into details. And remember, again, everybody watching, what I said before, in part one, the questions target you mostly. They're talking about you. So you have to focus your answers on yourself, okay? Therefore, use the pronouns I, me, my. I use my computer often to complete my homework assignments as well as send out emails to my friends, okay? I'm emphasizing those pronouns just so you can hear how often a native speaker would use that in clear communication to respond to such a question. All right, so keep that in mind. Okay, a lot of I, me, my's, myself's in part one. Okay, that also helps to build your fluency. Somebody asked me, how do I avoid pauses and stay fluent in my speaking? Conjunctions are important, and using the correct pronouns are important as well. Varvara Alexei says, well, almost every day I type something on my computer. As I've been preparing for my exam, the computer is of great help to me. Just the other day, I was watching a live IELTS lesson on YouTube on Academic English Helps channel. Right, Varvara? So, Varvara, I'm using that situation not just as a marketing plug, but also to emphasize the importance of including examples. So if your computer is essential and is of great help in your studies for your upcoming exam, then immediately go into an example. Don't say for example or for instance, it's not necessary, just say it, okay? Yesterday, I searched online for free listening exams and found several, okay? So something like that, okay? Always think examples as well, students. Harvinder says, well, today is an era of technology, so without the help of it, we can't think to meet up with the current period, so I use it regularly. Harvinder, you're going to get a low mark for that kind of a statement because it sounds like you're off topic. How often do you use your computer? Only in the end of your response are you actually giving me some kind of an answer to this question. The first 15 words are completely off topic. I'm not talking about how often people use the computer in today's era or what type of era we're living in. I'm specifically asking how often do you use the computer, okay? Cool Beer Singh says, well, it totally depends on my mood. When I'm free, I like to watch Hollywood movies, and sometimes I usually take a little bit of help through the laptop during my assignments. Okay, students, there's two key nouns here. It's you and the computer, okay? The controlling element is often. Often is an adverb of frequency. Okay. If you want to get a high band score, and I'm sure that is what you want to do, then your answer that you give to this question must immediately reflect all three of these elements. Okay. So your answer must say, I frequently use my laptop. Okay. That's your high band answer. You have to start that way. Okay, if you don't have these elements, if you don't have the idea of computer, me, and how often, right away in your first sentence, your examiner is going to be taking marks. They're going to say it's not a coherent answer, it's not a complete answer, it's missing elements, it's missing vocabulary, lexical resource. So you have to include that into your response, okay? So we go from what's called qualitative language to quantitative language. So I frequently use my laptop for both work and school, I would say about 6 to 8 hours daily. Whether it's writing essays for study or marking students' papers, I'm constantly in need of my computer. Just yesterday, I completed 2 full IELTS practice exams from aehelp.com's website. Okay, so yes, I'm going to use this situation a little bit for my own purposes, but nonetheless hitting 2 birds with 1 stone to remind you of the importance of answer, explain, example, connect ideas, right? Remember my previous answer? I said that I both work as an English instructor and I'm studying aviation, okay? So here I'm saying I frequently use my laptop for both work and school. Notice how here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. In my first 10 words, I use the subject of the question in my answer, the object of the question in my answer paraphrased, the controlling element often with frequently, and all within the first 10 words. And I'm using a correlative conjunction, both and, both for work and for school. That is clear, high-level communication. That's what gets you band scores, okay? Is it completely natural? Is it the way people speak in everyday life? Most Americans, Canadians, Brits, Australians? No. Most of us don't express ourselves quite this clearly in everyday life. But the IELTS speaking exam is more than just a friendly conversation. You have 12 minutes to prove your highest English capacity. That's what you need to do, okay? So repeat after me. How often do you use a computer? I frequently use my laptop for both work and school. I would say about 6 to 8 hours daily. Whether it's writing essays for study or marking students' papers, I'm constantly in need of my computer. Just yesterday, I completed 2 full IELTS practice exams from aehelp.com's website. Okay. All right. Again, the other really important tip here, students, is qualitative and quantitative language. Frequently, qualitative. How frequently? 6 to 8 hours each day. This word, frequent, is defined by this 6 to 8 hours daily. Let's try to practice that for the next questions, okay? So I will make a note here for you, okay? This is my tip 2 for today. Strong communication, strong and clear communication demands that the speaker or the presenter gives both qualitative and quantitative information. Usually, qualitative information comes first and then is defined by qualitative details. Okay? For example, frequently. Frequently means 8 hours a day. Okay? So that's what you're going for. Practice that. That will get you band scores. Okay, let's go to the next question. What do you use the computer for? All right, give me a nice, full sentence answer here. What do you use the computer for? Rodrigo says, I use my laptop for business at work and on the weekends for studying. Okay, a little bit of grammatical correction is needed there, Rodrigo. One more time, Rodrigo. I use my laptop daily for business at work and on the weekends when I'm on call or studying to improve my skills in programming. Okay, Rodrigo, that's good. Just watch your grammar word order. It's almost correct. Hilola says, most of the time I use my laptop for study purposes. I'm not overly computer literate, but I'm learning to browse various websites which are of great benefit for my study purposes. For instance, yesterday I surfed the net and found an excellent site for vocabulary. Okay, Hilola, that's nice. Okay, that's good. Okay, bye, Rahul. Don't spam. Mashiha Ronsanse says, I mostly use my computer for reading and writing some essays about my work and also for surfing the net. Sometimes I use it to play FIFA with some friends. Mashia, that's good. It's a nice answer. So you use it for entertainment as well as work. Aisel Meherelmli, I utilize my computer not only to prepare for my lessons, but also to keep in contact with my friends who live abroad. In fact, before the speaking exam, I got off a 3-hour Skype call to my friend in the US. I was practicing my English. Very good, Aisel. Remember, Aisel, that you should include examples. So you use your computer to keep in contact with your friends who live abroad. Nice use of adjective clause. Give me an example of a friend who you chat with through your computer using Skype, WhatsApp, or some other piece of software. Rahul Preet Manga, or member, says, well, as I mentioned earlier, that I use my computer for writing medical notes in real time, and sometimes I also help my dear wife with her assignments in ECA. Like yesterday, I lent my laptop to her for a couple of hours. Yeah, again, Rahul Preet, careful with acronyms like ECA. You might want to explain what that is. Rajveer, good to see you in class. Rajveer says, I use my laptop not only for doing computer programming at my work, but also for education as well. Moreover, I use it for watching movies and web series. Yesterday, I saw a great new film on Netflix. Good, Rajveer. I watched an episode of Friends. I didn't see that, but we're thinking alike. Very good. Okay. Nguyen Min Tien says, people can find entertainment on the internet. They can watch movies, listen to songs, and watch video downloads. I'm sure many of you will know my critique for Min Tien's response. Min Tien, the question is, what do you use the computer for? Not what do people use the computer for. Okay, pay close attention to that, students. So, well, as you may ascertain from my previous responses, I use my computer for both work and study, as I had mentioned. Aside from this, I also use it to communicate with friends and family, as well as entertainment. I played a couple hours of Candy Crush Saga after speaking with my friend in Italy for 30 minutes using Skype. Okay. All right, make connections among answers. It's very, very important, students. Okay, so we've already talked a little bit about what I use my computer for. Let's refer to it. Repeat after me. What do you use the computer for? Well, as you may ascertain from my previous responses, I use my computer for both work and study, as I had mentioned. Aside from this, I also use it to communicate with friends and family, as well as entertainment. Just yesterday, I played a couple hours of Candy Crush Saga after speaking with my friend in Italy for 30 minutes using Skype. Okay, that's your high band answer. So I don't just repeat what I've already said. So I don't just say, well, I already said that I use it for work and school, but I expand, elaborate on my answer. Your examiner will be asking you to do that in part 3 especially. Can you elaborate on your answer? So you might as well elaborate a bit in the beginning, okay? So aside from this, I also use it to communicate with friends and family, as well as entertainment. And then my example, I don't need to say for example or for instance. It's okay to use that once or twice throughout the speaking, but for the most part, lead right into the example by saying like or just, or simply say the example. Just yesterday, I played a couple hours of Candy Crush Saga after speaking with my friends in Italy, or my friend in Italy, for 30 minutes using Skype. Okay, next question. Where do you usually use a computer and why? Okay, so where do you use the computer and why? Again, don't just repeat yourself, so don't just say at work and school, but try to be more specific. Be visual, be specific. Give me a nice, full sentence answer. Where do you usually use a computer and why? Okay. Chabi says, I like to use my computer in a quiet place like the library, at home, or in a calm park, because whenever I use it, it means I have serious work to complete, like emailing work or the bank, for example. Good, Chabi. I like that response. It's nice. Okay. Niraj Pudyal says, I use my laptop for surfing the net. I do use it at my work and studies also. Okay, Niraj, you're answering the previous question, I think. Yosef writes, I mostly use my laptop in my office for my work purposes. Apart from that, I use my desktop at home for entertainment. Like last weekend when I played FIFA with my cousin. Yusuf, good, but don't go back to the previous question. Stay on this one. So I mostly use my laptop in my office for work purposes because it's a quiet place where I can concentrate. At home, I have my desktop computer in my bedroom and I use it for entertainment. Like last weekend, I played FIFA with my cousin. That's a better answer. So stay on the location element. Where do you usually use a computer? Okay? Keep the elements of the question in mind. Rahul Preet says, most of the time I use my computer at my office for work. Besides from this, I use my laptop for watching movies while traveling. Like yesterday, I finished the series Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. on Netflix, and the laptop was resting on my lap while I was flying to Beijing. Okay, so Rahul Preet, again, location. I was on the plane watching this series, right? All right. Let's take a couple more. Kiran says, generally the computer is usually used to communicate to people. Kiran, that's off topic. The question is, where do you usually use your computer? Nagan Nguyen says, I often use my computer at home or in the library. I like quiet places for using my computer so that I can concentrate better on my studies. I went to the library yesterday to finish my homework and spent 2 hours there typing away. Okay, good. Ushan Fernando says, I like to use my laptop in my room because it's a good atmosphere. I feel good about it. That's where I do most of my studies, like studying IELTS online. Good. Rajveer says, as I mentioned earlier, I use my computer at both the office and at home. At my workplace, I use it on my seat as well as in meeting rooms. At home, I use it in my bedroom as it is a quiet place. Rajveer, very nice, okay? So you made the connection, you used conjunctions, you went into details about where you actually place your computer. Excellent job, Rajveer. That's exactly what it takes to get those high band scores. At work, I have my laptop sitting on my desk. And this is where I usually keep it, unless I'm doing a presentation, in which case I take it with me to a boardroom. In addition, I use my computer in my bedroom and living room to watch movies or send emails. Okay, all right. So here's the question. Repeat after me. Where do you usually use a computer? At work, I have my laptop sitting on my desk, and this is where I usually keep it unless I'm going or unless I'm doing a presentation, in which case I take it with me to a boardroom. In addition, I use my computer in my bedroom and living room to watch movies and send emails. That's your nice, full, complete answer. Okay. Let's jump to this question. Has the way you use a computer changed in the last 10 years? Give me a nice, full sentence answer to this one. We're jumping to this question because I want to challenge you with a little bit of a more difficult grammar. Okay? So here we go. Has the way you use a computer changed in the last 10 years? Rahul Saini, please don't spam the chat. Otherwise, I'll have to lock you out. Okay? And please stay on topic. Charlie Sen says, well, as you ascertained from my previous answer, I use my desktop in my workplace where other people use it as well. However, I do share my personal laptop with anyone because of security reasons. Charlie, that's the previous answer or previous question. We're looking for this question here. We're looking for answers. Has the way you use a computer changed in the last 10 years? Okay. All right. Nguyen Min Tian says, several years ago, I used it mostly for studying, but now I use it for working on projects and also playing video games. Min Tian, good answer. just make sure that you use present perfect, okay? So 明天, a better answer would be, yes, it has changed much. Several years ago, I used it mostly for studying, but nowadays I've been using it for working on projects. So that's the big trick here, 明天, Nguyen, is reflect the grammar of the questions. Okay, reflect the grammar. If it's present perfect, make sure to show present perfect in your answer. Okay, Asila says, yes, I have changed the way I use my computer. And then something else, Asila. Okay. We're not on the sharing questions, students. Don't preload your answers. Make sure you're targeting the current question, which is, has the way you use the computer changed in the last 10 years? Olusegun Olatimpo says, strangely, there has been a dramatic change in the way I use my computer in the last decade. It is now almost every day I use it, and I always have one or two responsibilities to complete on my computer, like answering at least 5 to 10 emails. Good. Yeah, here we go. Absolutely. The way I use my computer these days is very different from a decade back. Nowadays, I have been using my computer much more for work, as where in 2010 I was using it, had been using it for school and entertainment. Okay, so again, make sure to reflect the present perfect nature of the question. Here we go. Repeat after me, students. Has the way you use a computer changed in the past 10 years? Absolutely. The way I use my computer these days is very different from a decade back. Decade back, past 10 years. Nowadays, I have been using present perfect progressive. Okay, you're getting score for grammar, range, and accuracy. Nowadays, I have been using my computer much more for work, as where in 2010, I had been using it for school and entertainment. Whoa, did this candidate just use a present perfect progressive and then a past perfect progressive? There you go. Now I can give you a band 9 for your grammatical range and fluency. Okay. All right, students. One more question to go. If you could change anything about the computer that you use, what would it be and why? And the question that we missed is, do you share your computer with anyone else? Why or why not? These two questions I'll give to you for homework. Do you share a computer with anyone else? If you could change anything about the computer that you use, what would it be and why? You can record your answers in MP3 format on your phone, and then you can send it to my email, and I will gladly give you a band score estimate of your speaking level in the IELTS exam. My email is adrian@aehelp.com. Tomorrow, we will have a Task 1 class for members, followed by a reading class. Everybody can join both of those classes, but you can only chat in this second class. If you want to chat in this Task 1 class, you need to become a channel member. You're very, very welcome, Eugen. And again, students, remember to visit our websites, aehelp.com, That is this website here with the blue background. Click that big red button to become a premium member. And for the general IELTS, join us here at gieltshelp.com. Click that big red button to become a premium member there. We don't like to mix academic and general, so we have two separate web portals. It makes more sense. And again, our apps that you can download, Academic IELTS Help and General IELTS Help as well. Hopefully I will see most of you in class tomorrow. Again, remember to study every day. Learn 3 to 5 new words each day. Keep up the excellent studies. Keep pushing forward. You're all very, very clever people. You have beautiful quantum computers sitting on top of your shoulders, capable of much, much more than we can possibly imagine. All the best from Central Europe. Bye for now.